Right now, right now. 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 Oh, I got a real good feeling.
We try to bring you high-quality educational and informational content every single day. Why do you think the price is having such an anemic time? The news story of the hour. Jump onto the chart. Is this the beginning of a massive financial unraveling? We got to add a little addendum to the show map today. So we start here on the daily. Now, we've been looking at the RSI on Bitcoin's daily chart for the last several days. It always has been, but it's been increasing over the last 50 years since the government has been getting bigger. Hey guys, what's going on? Jebb here, and welcome back to Coffee and Crypto Live. This is your weekdaily morning show where we bring you the latest in everything Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, and we are going to be talking today about the drop and subsequent rally that happened on Bitcoin over the weekend. We've seen a lot of trading happening over the last 48 to 72 hours, and we're going to be breaking down what all of that means for you on your chart today. I'm really excited to talk about the drop that we saw on Bitcoin, the subsequent rally that we saw on Bitcoin, look at some of the technical chart formations, look at some of the patterns that Bitcoin has entered, and really try and hone in on what exactly it is that Bitcoin is doing right now and where Bitcoin is going to be going next. And also, of course, I'm always excited to be answering your questions and to be interacting with you guys here on Coffee and Crypto Live, where we go live at 10 a.m. Eastern every single weekday, bringing you the latest high-quality educational and informational content here on YouTube regarding financial sovereignty. If you guys don't know, financial sovereignty is this concept that I came up with about, it's a name that I came up with, but it's a concept that is biblical. This name that I came up, financial sovereignty, where you are supposed to be served by your finances, not living a life of service to your finances. I'm a Christian. I serve an almighty God, and I believe that I cannot serve finances and him at the same time. The Lord says you cannot serve both God and mammon, mammon being one of those, a word from Aramaic, which was a god of riches. You can't serve both at the same time. So whether you're a Christian or not, I'm here to give you one very simple, factual, absolutely true truth, and that is that you are going to be completely incapable of serving two things: money and whatever else it is that you are trying to principle and build your life around. So if you're the Christian, you want to serve God, you're not going to be able to serve your finances and do that at the same time. If you are a Buddhist, you're not going to be able to serve Buddha and do that at the same time. If you're a Muslim, you're not going to be able to serve Allah and serve finances at the same time. If you're an atheist, you're not going to be able to serve science and serve money at the same time, because you cannot serve two masters at once. Whatever it is that you have purposed your life around, your finances need to be in a serving role. And if they're not, that's what I want to help you to achieve here on this channel. So make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned because we got a lot to cover today. Really appreciate all of you guys for tuning in. We've got Sean O'Brien in chat said, hey. Hi to you too, Sean O'Brien. We've got Queen in chat, Mike Lowry, Crypto Mini Bike, Wisely T, Alex Nibo, Daniel J, Quinn Ed said, good morning, Jebb. Joe Bollier said, good morning, and gave me a wave. Hello to you. Dan Nolan, William. Quinn said, I get to go into work late so I can catch up on the live stream. Quinn also said, I'm a replay monkey, but get to watch the live today with the $ sticking out the tongue. Love to see it. Mike Lowry said, don't forget to smash the likes, please, and thank you. Happy Monday. God bless this new week. Thank you so very much for that. Silent is in chat. TB said, Jebb is the way forward. Thank you. Let's see. When People's in chat said, good morning, all. God bless. Freedom Advocate said, good morning, all. I serve God. Love to hear it. Travis Sketches. Can I still be here if I don't believe the same thing as you all? I'm so glad you asked that, because I was actually just about to touch on that. Absolutely you can. I'm a Christian, but I am so incredibly honored, if you guys are not, for you to be here. This is not a channel that is just about talking about the Lord. This is a channel where we mostly talk about finances. I just mention that every once in a while because it's something that I believe in, and I very strongly believe in, and that I found the truth in, and I find that it's my calling in life to share this wonderful, joyous, incredible thing that I've discovered about 5 years ago when I've surrendered my life to the Lord Jesus Christ with you guys. But that's not the point of this channel necessarily from your point of view. The point is for you to come here and learn how to be financially sovereign, and I've got a lot of biblical concepts and also technical analysis facts and geopolitical facts and historical facts and economic facts and analysis that can help you. So absolutely, we're so very thankful that you're here. You absolutely don't have to be a Christian. There's no judgment whatsoever or condemnation here. I am just very happy that you are here. So thank you so very much for tuning in, even if you don't believe as I do. The JD Club said, if, let's see. is in chat. Peter P said, good morning, all from Holland. Seek and Hunt said, short or long? That's a good thing that we'll be looking at. The JD Club said, good response, Jebb. The Kryptonian said, well said, trust in him. Absolutely, guys. I am very glad that people didn't judge me and condemn me so harshly when I wasn't a believer. They lovingly brought me to the Lord Jesus, who completely changed my life. All right, let's go ahead and jump straight on to CoinMarketCap. Right now, Bitcoin is trading at $27,300. It is up 1.5% over the last 24 hours. However, it is down 1.85% over the last 7 days. It's up 25% over the last 90 days. Up 64% year to date. Very excited about Bitcoin right now. You guys know I don't really touch on the small cap altcoins very much. I think most of them are going to be here in 5-10 years. The vast majority of them, I think, are junk, to be quite honest with you. But I do believe that there are a lot of gems in cryptocurrency. That being said, when I say a lot of them are junk, we've got 24,000 cryptos listed up here on CoinMarketCap, guys. Probably 23,000 of those are trash. So just keep in mind that the vast majority of cryptocurrencies are going to go to zero. But if you pick the right ones, I think you're going to make a lot of money over the next 5 to 10 years. But not just because you picked the right one and you dollar cost averaged, although that will probably make you money if you buy the right thing. Also because if you buy the right thing and you hold on to it for a long time, then I believe that that will bring you profit because some of these projects have real underlying intrinsic value. I believe Bitcoin is the most obvious of those. Bitcoin being up 65% year to date just shows you that it has been doing quite well this year. But even if you look at the last 10 years, Bitcoin is up several tens of thousands of percentage points because of the faith that people have put in its solution to an existential problem that humanity has always faced since the dawn of civilization. And that is, since creation, and that is that you do not have the ability to store wealth in this life without it being wasted away. Now, of course, we know that we can't truly store wealth here in this world because moths and rust will come and thieves will come in and steal and break in and steal. But there are ways that you can harden yourself against those facts of life. Even though you can't perfectly store wealth here on Earth, we still would like to be able to store wealth much more into the future than we would be otherwise, right? I think you understand what I'm saying. This is an imperfect world. We're always going to have things that eat away at our wealth. There's always going to be some kind of entropy, which is what physicists call natural chaos that leads to the degradation of order. There's going to be some kind of entropy that's going to take away your wealth. Now, what we can do here in this life, of course, is to live a life of character and store up treasures in heaven. But in this life also, we should be good stewards of our finances. And one of the ways we can be good stewards of our finances is by having some of our finances, not all of them, but some of our finances in an inflation-hardened asset that's not going to lose value every single year due to inflationary monetary policy of the United States dollar or whatever national currency it is that you hold. There's only about 20 of them that really matter for anything because the vast majority of countries use the dollar or are so heavily backed by the dollar, their currency might as well just be a stable coin for the dollar or a derivative of the dollar. But if you're trying to store value into the future, which is something that is perfectly fine and good to do, Bitcoin, I think, is one of the greatest places to do that because it has that inflation hardening. If you haven't watched our interview with Michael Saylor, make sure to go back on the channel and watch that. The video's got about 85,000 views. And in that interview, I sat down with him for an hour and we talked about how Bitcoin is well and truly the first superconducting, thermodynamically sound cryptocurrency in the history of mankind. And essentially what that means, superconducting means that it transfers value at extreme speeds with very low friction. You can send $150 million of Bitcoin for very low transaction fees. And yes, I know what you're saying, but Jebb, weren't the transaction fees like $30 just a few days ago? That seems like very high friction. Yes. Lightning Network. Once Lightning Network comes online, and Lightning Network frankly is online in a lot of capacities, you can send transactions for next to no fees almost instantaneously in the grand scheme of things compared to sending them internationally and it taking 7 days. And by the way, all of the setup that you have to go through to get a bank account set up and the fact that you can't totally trust the bank because it is an IOU that they are giving you when you deposit into their financial institution, Bitcoin is superconducting because you can transfer wealth very quickly, very cheaply, especially when you're dealing with transactions at scale. You're not dealing with a 1 or 2% transaction fee. You're dealing with a flat fee that a lot of times is less than $5. And thermodynamically sound just means that it's not going to radiate away like energy. This thermos right here is not thermodynamically sound because there's truly nothing that is absolutely thermodynamically sound in all of creation. But what thermodynamically sound means is that's the perfect idea of what a physicist or an engineer would be reaching for to create something where energy can neither enter nor exit this thing. If I have this thermos right here, this container that my wife got me for Father's Day last year, then this is going to hold heat energy or lack of heat energy inside of it to keep something cool or to keep something hot. It's going to store its energy or lack thereof in a vacuum of energy because something is cold. Thermodynamically sound just means it's very difficult to change the internal thermodynamic state of something, even depending on what's going on outside of it. So if you're in a space suit, you will have your body at 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit, hopefully, and it's 1 degree Kelvin outside because you're in the middle of space. That is a thermodynamically sound, nearly perfectly thermodynamically sound spacesuit. That's what Bitcoin is. It is thermodynamically sound. Sound meaning that it is not leaving or bringing in a ton of energy. It is holding its value into the future, and it is not having its value inflated away and gushed away by inflation. You can think about it like this, and then we'll get on to the TA. I like to go into the philosophical every once in a while because it helps us to remember what we're talking about here. You can think about it like a water tower. If you have a water tower and you've got a little quarter-size hole at the bottom of it, but you've got, let's say, I don't know how much water is in a water tower. Probably, I don't know, 100,000 gallons, whatever it be, 100,000 gallons of water in a water tower, and you've got this little hole. You've got all that water pushing down on it. That little hole is going to probably drain the water tower just straight there onto the ground 50 feet below in the span of probably just a couple of days. You'd have to figure out the math and see how quickly all that did with water pressure and all that. But the point is, you've got this little hole. You got this little leak. The dollar has a leak in it. It's leaking 2% of its value at least every single year. And so that is not a thermodynamically sound system. That is not a monetarily sound system, to use the true term rather than the analogous term. It is not a monetarily sound system. It is leaking value. And where is it going? It's going to the same people that are printing the currency, causing the inflation. It's going to the government as a silent tax that you have to pay on top of the huge amount of taxes that you have to pay anyway. So when you're dealing with a thermodynamically sound currency like Bitcoin, you don't have to deal with that silent tax of at least 2%. Right now, 5% inflation every single year of the United States dollar. That's why Bitcoin, in a nutshell, that's why we invest in Bitcoin, is because it is thermodynamically sound, and it also just happens to be, for the most part, superconducting. You can send a transaction in the grand scheme of things nearly instantaneously. Now, it's not instantaneous if you're trying to buy a cup of coffee, but if you're trying to send something across borders, and that would have taken 7 days, 60 minutes is not bad. And Lightning can make it go faster. The transaction fees, $5, $10, $20, $30. Normally, they're not going to be that high, especially with, you guessed it again, Lightning Network and a layer 2 solution. And of course, if you're dealing with $150 million or $250 million, or you're an oligarch trying to buy $1 billion worth of oil, and you send that much Bitcoin and you have to spend, oh my goodness, $5 in Bitcoin transaction fees because it's the same number, it's just a different number in the block header, then that is a superconducting currency. You're not going to find that anywhere else. Bitcoin has intrinsic properties that nothing else has that gives it a leg up on the competition, and that's why it's worth $500 billion. All right, I'll get off my soapbox and we'll get back onto analyzing the market. I just wanted to remind you why we're up 65% this year. Now, there's a question that some people have. Is that value proposition that I just gave you really worth $500 billion? Maybe, maybe not. We have to take time to see where the market is going to send us on that. And I think this bull market will be the test, the ultimate test of that. The last bull market was always going to happen in my belief. I think the last bull market was always going to occur. The question was, would the bull market have gone quite as far if not for all the printing that happened as a result of the quantitative easing? Maybe not, but I think Bitcoin would have gone to at least $40,000 to $50,000, if not even up to $70,000 as it did. We don't have that at this point. So the question I'm looking for this bull market is whether or not Bitcoin can reach back just to all-time high. If Bitcoin can just get back to all-time high, up to above $60,000, and it has this uptrend right here. This is a 5-10 year pattern. I don't mind that. If Bitcoin only gets back to all-time high, improves, it double tops up there. Well, actually triple tops, because we already have 2 tops up there. If it triple tops at $70,000 and then bounces and doesn't go below, let's say 32,935 and holds above, that is a long-term pattern that we can start to analyze, and that may be where we're going this bull market. It may be because of the economic climate, with the lack of QE, with the high interest rates, with the war in Ukraine, with the war potentially in Taiwan, with the agricultural issues that are going on around the world as a result of supply chain disruptions to the fertilizer industry. It is very possible that Bitcoin just is not going to have the political and economic and geopolitical background and zeitgeist to allow it to go back to $70,000 or $100,000 or $150,000. But so long as Bitcoin can go back up to all-time high and set a higher low, I am happy, even if that means that we're setting up for a 5, 10, 15, 20 year uptrend rather than one that would happen in just a year, because in the long term, that would probably be healthier for Bitcoin anyway. All right. Gonna go ahead and read chat here for just a second. If you guys are in today's stream and you are having fun, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit that post notification bell so you won't miss a single stream. YouTube is not sending out notifications to our subscribers, so if you are a subscriber, make sure to go and hit the post notification bell. You know where it is by now. Make sure you've checked all notifications so that you'll be updated every single time that we go live. Really appreciate you guys for tuning in. Let's see. If by the way, only goes to all-time high, you're going to want to sell some alts to get rich. Yeah, you're going to want to be careful with the altcoins for sure. You're definitely going to want to be careful with the altcoins for sure. All right. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Let's go ahead and jump straight onto Bitcoin's chart and do some analysis on the shorter term time frames. Down on the daily chart, Bitcoin was originally looking like it was going to drop down to 25,236. It only ended up going down to 25,700. If you guys remember, we had a trade set up right here, and I told you guys that it would probably be a good idea to exit part of that trade halfway through. If you were in a short trade, the entry was like right here at 26,900. I think it was at 26,900. The exit was at just above 20. I think it was at 25.5. And then I said you could put the middle exit right here. It's always a good idea, not always, but a lot of times it's a good idea to have an early exit just so that you can make sure you take out some profit. Because think about it like this: if you enter your trade, let's just set up a short position here. If you enter your trade and your entry level is at 26,900. And your profit level is at 25,500. And we'll put our stop loss at 27,100. I believe these might have been the numbers I had up here. If this is your trade, you can see we didn't quite get there. Then you might not get all the way to the take profit. It's not a bad idea to take some early profits, maybe a quarter, maybe a third, maybe a fifth of your overall position size. You could have taken that here at, let's say, 26.2, because that would have been half of the way through the trade. This is a great trade for risk to reward ratio. I believe this was the same trade that I set up for you, because this was a 7x risk to reward ratio. I like to go for above a 5x risk to reward ratio. To get above a 5x risk to reward ratio, you're normally having to enter a trade towards the beginning of a trend change, a trend reversal. We talked about the 6 different types of trend changes down here, the 4 that you can trade in last week's stream. Down to up to down, sideways to up, sideways to down. But then if you go down to sideways or up to sideways, then there's not a trade there because, of course, the market's only trading sideways. In this case, Bitcoin's going through a bit of a V-bottom. We'll talk about a new trade here in a minute, and we'll do some analysis, but let's look at our previous trade first. This is where I think it would have been definitely a good idea to maintain a tight stop loss because we are already pretty far into the movement, as you can see here. And then to have a take profit, one of your take profit levels halfway to your eventual take profit level. What that would have done, if you say had have exited with a third of your trade right here, let's just use 1x leverage for our example to make this simple. If you were to have exited at 26.2 and your eventual exit was at 25.5, then you would have exited a third. You would have covered some of your bases. Then you would have had a stop loss, hopefully a trailing stop loss, in this case, maybe $300 at most. Then you would have exited the rest of your position. And even though you didn't get all the way to the take profit because you weren't just simply saying, I'm going to enter here and exit here, you actually had a full-on trading strategy, you would have exited you would have exited 1/3 of the position. Let's see, you would have exited 1/3 of the position, 2.5% down in the short, and you would have exited the other 2/3 of the position, 1 1/3 down in the short, which means that on the average, you would have exited with about a 2% profit. On $100,000, that's a $2,000 gain. Even though you did not manage to go all the way down to 25,236, if you're using 10x leverage, that's a 20% gain. That's pretty solid, guys. So that's where you want to make sure that you're not just following blindly what I show you on YouTube, in case I ever forget to mention some of those details. This is me teaching you how to fish, not just giving you a fish. Make sure that you're exiting some of your trade if you're not just crazy confident in it a little bit early. Make sure you have that tight stop loss that is hopefully beyond your entry, so that the stop loss isn't going to trigger when you're in a loss. Remember that there's a trading fee there, so you always want to make sure there's at least about a 0.15% margin for gain there, because the trading fees normally on most exchanges are right around that level. And you would have profited here just on this candle wick right here, even if you were not able to catch the full movement, because Bitcoin didn't go all the way down to 25,236 at least yet. It very well may. I'm going to show you why it might here in just a minute, but for right now, it hasn't done that. All right, so we'll go ahead and get rid of that trade setup just to kind of clear our chart, make things a little bit more clear. You can see here, guys, one of the things I want to show you, we'll just go ahead and clear out these different trend changes here. We're doing a little bit of education on trend changes and how to set up trades for those last week. If you weren't here for that, make sure to go back and watch those streams, or you can stay tuned because we're going to be talking about that in course material in the future. All right. Just go ahead and clear our chart. You have to forgive me, guys. I'm getting used to this new mouse. I am using a, we have a ton of media equipment in here. So I just found this little Logitech mouse because my actual Corsair mouse that I love it doesn't left click anymore. So I was having to sit here and trackpad, and I'm just, if you guys are chartists, you know trackpadding. Trackpadding. I just made up a new verb. Using a trackpad and charting typically don't work very well. So getting used to this new mouse. I have another mouse at the house. I have a mouse at the house that I'm going to bring and start using. But getting used to this old little like dummy computer lab Logitech mouse for today. So bear with me here, guys. All right. Now, what I want to talk about today was where Bitcoin's potential bounce is going. Bitcoin obviously bottomed out here on the Friday, 12th of May at around 25,800. This, by the way, is why you don't ever, this is a pretty much a principle of trading. You basically never put your exit for the trade at the level you're predicting the market's going to go to. We predicted the market would go to 25,236. It only went to 25,800, right? You never put your trade on the level that you think the market's going to go to. Why? Because oftentimes the market will bounce just a little bit above it. Because once you start getting close to here, you get a ton of buy pressure. Why? Because the people that were in shorts are exiting their short trades. So let me just give you an example here. Bitcoin had been in a downtrend up until Friday for about a week. It had already dropped 13%, negative $4,000. There was always going to be a lot of buying pressure right here around 25,236 that was going to lead to people exiting shorts and people entering longs, both of which generate buy pressure for the market, and both of which will lead to things like this. Excuse me, this long lower shadow that we saw on Friday and this eventual turnaround. Now, the reason that I believe that we might not be quite done with this movement shows up on the daily chart and on the 1 hour chart. Take notice of the ABC corrective movement that I've drawn here. The reason we use ABC on Elliott wave is because we are in a longer term general uptrend that you can see right here. If you remember from principles of technical analysis, we talk about the types of trends. We have our primary, secondary, and tertiary trends. Our primary trends are those major movements that are pushing the market forward in a big way. Those are our big trends. If we're going to just simplify the market down to lines that only update every few months, then those are our major movements. Those are our bull markets, bear markets. In this case, I'm using the term primary to define this hopefully bull market that has begun ever since the beginning of 2023. What you define as a primary, secondary, and tertiary trend is slightly subjective, but it is also something that's going to give you a lot of context. I believe that we're in what we would call an Elliott wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pattern. But with Elliott wave, the corrective waves, which is your second wave and your fourth wave, they go through what are known as ABC corrective waves. I think we're in an ABC corrective wave right here, meaning we're going down, up, down, in relation to the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 major wave, and don't mind the exact points I'm putting those on. I'm just trying to illustrate here. That's going to drive Bitcoin up to, I hope, at least $33,000. That means that this corrective wave is likely going to do a couple of things. Number one, it's likely going to correct the market quite a bit. But two, oftentimes what you see happen is that the A wave matches the C wave in size at least. Now, the one thing you can see here is that the A wave has pretty much perfectly matched the C wave, which is meeting up with the principle I just told you. You can see that this trend right here, this trend line right here, is about $3,800 tall. Both of these movements are about $3,800. Now, that being said, it is also very possible that the C wave could be a little bit bigger because we have eventual support down here at 25,236. And a lot of times when you get that close to a level, you're going to end up testing it, especially if it's a back test, not a future test. So, for example, I'm not necessarily talking about going up to 32,935, but back testing 25,236, a level we broke through relatively recently. Oftentimes, if you get close, there's this kind of magnetism where the market's eventually going to go down and test it. I would not be at all surprised if we saw a little bounce this week and then another drop down to 25,236 moving into the end of the month. Now, looking down on the 1 hour chart, there's even more context. You can see here, guys, our primary trends would be right here, here, and here, because these are the primary trends inside that corrective movement. I hope you see what we're doing here, guys. Let me just kind of back up. We've got the primary movement out here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We zoom in, and one of the corrective movements is ABC. Then we go down to the hourly chart, and the ABC movements turn into their very own like 1, 2, 3, their very own Elliott wave impulses. So you can see here what I would draw this market as, and it doesn't line up perfectly like, oh, this corrective wave has to be this impulse wave. What I would draw this market as here is potentially 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Would not be at all surprised to see Bitcoin come back down to 25,236 if it's not able to maintain here. Why? Well, there's a downtrend right here that Bitcoin is struggling to break through. It's not a perfect downtrend. It's not exactly one that you're going to find levels of support and resistance on, at least not unless you draw it like this, by the way, because that has 3 points. But also, keep in mind, and my RSI has gone and ran off on me. Let me get that back. Upside to Suki gap. Yeah, that's not what I was looking for. RSI, you can see here, is sitting up here relatively bullish, but even on the hourly chart, we're rejecting from this downtrending level of resistance I just drew for you. And we have a bearish MACD cross coming in, like, literally right now. We have RSI dropping below the 14. Moving on to the 4-hourly chart, MACD is getting up to 0. It's starting to correct. Same thing with RSI. If we flip over here and start breaking back below 27.1, then that's probably going to be a resistance, a rejection from 27.1 on the grand scheme of things, and that will probably send Bitcoin back into a downtrend because that's the overall trend. The overall trend is a downtrend right here. In fact, all of this is an overall downtrend. It'll likely send Bitcoin sending back for new fresh lows. This does not look like a very confident bottom, so it doesn't give me a lot of confidence that the market has actually bottomed there. All right, let's go ahead and look now at LuxAlgo, because LuxAlgo is going to give us a lot of great signals. By the way, guys, if you don't have LuxAlgo, I'm about to show you why it's awesome. But you can sign up for LuxAlgo using coupon code Jebb, that's Jebb, 30 for 30% off at checkout for every month subscription. Now, there's a coupon code over on LuxAlgo's website that's, I think, Lux30. That will give you 30% off the first month. Jebb30 will give you 30% off every month of the subscription. So that'll save you, let's see, how much would that save you? The LuxAlgo is $67.99 a month. And believe me, guys, it is worth it. Times 0.7, no, times 0.3 in 1 second. So that would save you $20 a month. So yes, by using our coupon code with LuxAlgo, you're going to save $250 a year. I'm just saying. It's a great coupon code. I was very blessed and thankful when they sent it over to me. So make sure if you're signing up for LuxAlgo, and you should, you're going to see why here in a second, to save $250 a year by using our coupon code Jebb30. All right. Now let's look at LuxAlgo here. LuxAlgo is giving us a lot of trend signals, but one of the signals that I want to point out is on the hourly chart. We did finally get a buy signal, and it was a strong buy signal, but take notice of where the take profit zone was. LuxAlgo gives you these buy signals and sell signals, and then it gives you this take profit zone. I remember when they implemented these take profit zones, I thought, oh my goodness, these things are gold. Like, this is awesome. I've never seen another technical indicator do this. They give you not only the trend direction, they also give you indicators inside the indicator. They can give you confirmation so that you can use the principle of confirmation. But then they also give you the take profit zone. You can see the take profit zone for Bitcoin's buy signal right here was between $27,377 and $27,834, with the middle level at $27,600. Bitcoin went to $27,546, and it also rallied right up here to the very bottom of the reversal zone and rejected. There's a couple of things to note there. Number one, Bitcoin did not break all the way to the top of the LuxAlgo buy zone. If it did, you would have wanted to take some profit, but maybe hold on to a little bit because maybe we're in a giant rally. Number two, Bitcoin did not break up into even the middle part of the reversal zone. Instead, it rejected off of the bottom of it. Some historical analysis will very quickly tell you that anytime you reject off of the bottom of the reversal zone, you're likely to go through a very strong flash crash. And even if you do just break straight through the ceiling, if you're not able to stay up there, you're going to flash crash as well. And so LuxAlgo is not in this position right now where it's just constantly pushing up against the reversal zone over and over and over again. It came to the place where Bitcoin had only rallied, let's see, from the buy signal 2.77%, $750, and Bitcoin's already rejecting from the reversal zone. That doesn't give a lot of confidence for the bulls. And so now, because of this downtrend and this flat level of resistance, it looks like Bitcoin's moving into a descending triangle pattern. If this breaks bullish, great. This would be an entry price right here. If this breaks bearish, probably also great, because I think we do need more bearishness. And then we would have another drop with an entry probably around 26.9. You basically repeat the same trade I just gave you on Friday, or on Thursday, I think it was. And then Bitcoin will probably drop back down towards that 25,236 region. Regardless, my point here is this bounce is not very strong. And LuxAlgo's buy signal here shows you that, just in case you weren't aware. It's got a very small, very close take profit zone. We didn't even break into the second half of the take profit zone. We didn't break into reversal. We're already moving back down here towards the trend catcher, and LuxAlgo just is not giving us a lot of confidence on the hourly chart. 4-hourly chart, as far as I'm aware, we're not even confirmed bullish. We have a buy signal, but we've been under a confirmed sell signal ever since here. This confirmed sell signal on LuxAlgo has driven Bitcoin to the downside by a grand total of over 10%. How do I know that? Because when we have a sell signal, we also confirm it with trend catcher. That's this line right here, going to LuxAlgo. See right here? That's this right here under indicate. Go to inputs, indicator overlay, trend catcher. You see? Turn that off, and we'll turn it back on. Trend catcher is how I use the market to LuxAlgo to confirm itself. It's an indicator inside of LuxAlgo that confirms the buy and the sell signals. And it's a strategy that Sean Mack, the creator of LuxAlgo himself, has told me was a great strategy. And he basically was like, Jebb, you found this strategy and people love it. You need to keep doing that. So the creator of LuxAlgo himself was like, dude, these buy and sell signals combined with trend catcher, it's simple, it works, it's great. It's got great historical, historicity is the word I use for it, the historical analysis of whether or not it's valuable and true or not. And so right now we can see that we've been under this confirmed sell signal for a time. Bitcoin had a buy signal, but it's not confirmed. We came up here to the trend catcher, rejected from it. What does that tell us? That tells us that we don't have a lot of confidence at all that this strong buy signal is going to become confirmed. And by the way, you barely use the buy signals and sell signals for anything unless they're confirmed. This is all this does is this gives us a little bit of hope that maybe something bullish is happening on Bitcoin. We do not go into a long until we have trend catcher confirmation, or at least some other kind of confirmation. Sometimes trend catcher will confirm a little bit later and break below a major level of support, or break above a major level of resistance, or a break of resistance or support having to do with a trend line or a moving average or RSI or MACD crossing a certain way could be your confirmation. But normally you're going to go for trend catcher confirmation. We don't have trend catcher confirmation. Instead, right now, we're rejecting from trend catcher. On top of that, on the 4-hourly chart, we're in this little uptrend. We've got a spinning top going right now, which indicates that this uptrend is in indecision. Indecisiveness is the killer of trends. It is the killer of uptrends, because if you are indecisive, you oftentimes lose. Bitcoin needs to have confidence. Not having confidence in itself is one of the first ways that Bitcoin will fail in a trend. Okay. Looking on the daily chart with LuxAlgo as well. We've been under a confirmed sell signal ever since here. In case you're wondering whether you should get LuxAlgo or not, just ask yourself the question, would you like to have predicted that Bitcoin was going to drop $4,000 over the next 21 days, a 13% movement that you could have swing traded by following one technical indicator? Would you like to have made a few $1,000s on this trade because you're a trader at the tiny little expense of about $40 for that month of using LuxAlgo for one trade, not to mention the hundreds of other trades that you could do with it? I would say yes, that's absolutely worth your time. So sign up for LuxAlgo using coupon code Jebb30, Jebb30, with the link in the description box down below. Another thing to mention here, and I just want to brag on LuxAlgo a little bit because this came in clutch, and this is probably actually why Bitcoin bottomed here and not all the way at 25,236. Because LuxAlgo is used by over 50,000 traders. The majority of them are in crypto, so it has predictive power because of how popular it is in cryptocurrency as well. The beginning of the take profit zone for this sell signal has, since this sell signal came into play, you can go back in these videos and watch it. I believe. I will check. Let me check. Let's go right here. Let's just go back to, I don't know if LuxAlgo will, okay, it does. Look, so going to the replay, hang on, let me show you this. Let's go to the replay. This is the day after the confirmation, the confirmed sell signal came into play. We've got our take profits here. These take profits are from this buy signal. So let's go forward one more day. All right. So you can see we've confirmed. The take profit for this sell signal has begun at 25,800 since April 21st. That was over 3 weeks ago. We run the chart forward. Where does Bitcoin bottom out? It's the same take profit. It will update if you pass through it. But the same take profit has started here. The same take profit zone has started at 25,857 for the last 3 weeks. Bitcoin went to 25,830. LuxAlgo, I don't know how else to say it. It plainly called it. And so that's where I've been saying for a while now, since that signal came in, we're probably going to 25,236 or somewhere in this range. I've been saying, look, 24,2 to 25,236, maybe a little above, maybe a little below. Somewhere in there, we're going to bottom out there. So far, we bottomed out right here at the beginning of the take profit zone. I think there's an argument to be made that we're going to go back down because I think we're not even going to be able to test. I don't even think we'll make it up to the trend catcher on daily chart, which will likely indicate sell pressure, and we'll move to the downside. I don't know how else to say it, guys. LuxAlgo is worth your time and it's worth your money. All right, so where does Bitcoin go next? I think Bitcoin's going to have a small bounce here on the 4-hourly chart. We can take a look at this. I think it'll have a small bounce. The question is whether that bounce is only going to be like $50 or if Bitcoin can actually break above this trend line. If it can break above this downtrend, then there's more of a conversation to be had that maybe some bullishness is coming into play. The next level of resistance I'd be looking for would be LuxAlgo's trend catcher, and LuxAlgo's trend catcher is sitting right here at 27,750. If Bitcoin can get up to 27,750, I think that's going to be a major level of resistance. I think it's going to have trouble getting there. Why? Well, on the daily chart, we're under a confirmed, bearishness on MACD. RSI is under bearishness. I don't know if we're going to be able to see enough bullishness to get MACD to cross bullish, or for RSI to cross above the 14 moving average or the 50 center line. I think it's going to have trouble doing that. And so if it does have trouble doing that, then that's likely going to lead to more sell pressure. On top of that, taking a look at our Moving averages. Bitcoin fell below the 50 simple moving average, which it tried to hold for quite some time, then rejected using it as resistance right here last Wednesday, May the 10th, when the effective federal funds rate, when the CPI decision came out. And now we've been so far below it that we're now going to use it as resistance, and the 50 is moving to the downside. That's not something you want to be freaked out about. I'll tell you why. It's very common during the 2016-17 bull market, which we use a lot of our models, which we base a lot of our models off of, for Bitcoin to drop below the 50 and then stay below there for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks before it bounces up and starts going above the 50 again. The 50 is this top moving average. See, we fall below it quite often. The 50 normally doesn't hold. Normally it breaks, and that signals kind of the depths of the correction, however you want to say that. Same thing over here. Fell below the 50 quite a bit. In fact, we even fell below the 200 daily moving average. Then in the 2020 and 2021 bull market, we would kind of fall below the 50 every once in a while, but then when QE came in, we would use it as support. The reason for that was because the market was so elevated from all the quantitative easing and all of the mainstream attention that it kind of broke the model. But the model still remains that Bitcoin will oftentimes go through a correction, fall below the 50 for a time, maybe 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks, then bounce above it and go back into another uptrend. In doing so, Bitcoin oftentimes will fall below between 20 and 40%. 20% drop would bring it down to 24.5. A 40% drop would bring it down to 18,000. I don't think it's going to bring it that low. And 20 to 40% is probably more like a 2016-17 number. I would say in this bull market, probably 15 to 30%, because we're looking at diminishing returns. 15 to 30%, that would be between where we dropped so far to 26,000 and let's say about 21.5. I'm comfortable with Bitcoin staying above any of those levels. 21.5 is the floor. If it goes below that, then we need to start talking about a prolonged bear market, and this having just been a corrective movement in the bear market. But so long as we stay above 21.5, which was our pre-FTX meltdown top here on November 5th, then I think Bitcoin's going to be fine. So where does Bitcoin go next? I think it's going to have a continued correction. If it gets above the 50 moving average, which is in perfect alignment, near perfect alignment with the trend catcher, you can see they're basically right on top of each other. I mean, look at this. Let's just zoom in here. The red flat line is the trend catcher. The 50 is the 50 moving average in green here. If it can get above those two levels, then great. Bitcoin might be going into a small uptrend. I don't see the confidence and the strength in Bitcoin just yet to be going into a major uptrend. So with all that said, here's my opinion. Again, this is an opinion. This is a prediction. I obviously cannot predict the future with 100% certainty. I do believe Bitcoin is not done with its corrective movement. I do believe it will need to go back down to 25,236 at some point, or at least back down with some more candle bodies into the region that's already dropped to, which was 25,800. After it does that, I think Bitcoin is going to need some kind of major bottoming event where it will have a V bottom and Bitcoin can go into a major rally, and we need to see some kind of confirmation for that. The biggest confirmation that I myself would be looking for would be a LuxAlgo buy signal on the daily chart that will give us that confirmation that we need that Bitcoin is going to move to the upside in some major way. I would also want to see something like, let's just look here for a few examples. I would also want to see something like a buy signal on the MACD daily chart, maybe even a buy signal on the MACD weekly chart, 2-day and 3-day chart. Even out here on the weekly chart, I'd like to see Bitcoin's MACD not cross bullish on the weekly chart, not cross bearish on the weekly chart. We've been under bullish MACD on the weekly chart since August of 2022. What happens when that MACD crosses bearish? If it does, I don't know. Maybe we'll explore that in a future video. I'd like to see Bitcoin's monthly chart actually have this MACD cross bullish. The last time we had a bullish MACD cross on monthly chart was May of 2020. Kicked off a giant bull market. So many things are coming into alignment right now. They could lead us into a huge bull market, but it's going to take time. I'd like to see RSI on the monthly chart stay above the 14 interval moving average, which is at 45. The last time we broke above that, again, was here in this case, not May, but June of 2020. We've been below it for all this time. Now we're above it. I want to stay there. Bitcoin has its head above water right now, but what we want to see Bitcoin doing is we want to see it like, parasailing over the water. We want to see it just flying over the water. Right now, Bitcoin's just like this. I don't want to drown. And that's where Bitcoin is. We want Bitcoin to get fully above the water. We want to have Bitcoin in this just dominating position over the water where it's on a boat and it's not even at risk of drowning because it's just so solid. And that's where we want Bitcoin to be. It's not there right now. Short term, Bitcoin's probably going to have a more sustained drop. Medium term, I'd like to see Bitcoin stay above 21.5, but ideally above 24.1. And then I'd like to see Bitcoin through some capacity, probably a fundamental event, move back up to 32,935, which is a major level that we set as support in the previous bear market. We've been trying to get to as resistance here. It's kind of the ceiling of our current market. If we can get there, set a new higher high, that's great. And we'll be looking for continued bullishness moving through the rest of this year and into the first 2 quarters of next year. That being said, there are some theories out there that Bitcoin's going to need to go through a major sustained correction to between $15,000 and $21,000. That is actually very possible. Very much in the cards. We have precedent for that during the last bull market. Bitcoin dropped 70% before the 2021 bull market kicked off, after having already dropped 75%. I'll show you that. Bitcoin went through this almost ABC corrective wave in its bear market. We had, it didn't exactly work that way, but you could almost say, and like I said, I wouldn't exactly say this, but you could almost say Bitcoin went through a B, C corrective movement before it actually started. It's just vertical bull market, and there's not a very good precedent for the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but maybe call it like that. Bitcoin went through this big correction before it went through this big bull market. And just so you know, the bear market lasted, if you go from the all-time high to the bottom of the pandemic, lasted 834 days. The bull market, if you go to right here, lasted 400 days. If you go to November 10th, it lasted 588 days. Generally speaking, the bear market can last just as long or longer. And by bear market, I mean the bear market accumulation in the very early stages of the bull market. But really, a lot of times people just lump them all together in the bear market. A lot of times that period of stagnation in crypto, you might say, lasts 3/4 of the time. Oftentimes in the halving cycle, and the halving cycle is getting less important every year, but it still has this kind of effect on crypto because it's always had an effect on crypto. It's a phantom cycle that still has an impact. Oftentimes you have 1 to 1.5 years of insane hype, and then you've got 2.5 to 3 years of not much going on. I think Bitcoin needs to and will mature out of that over the course of the next 20 years. But to get there, it's going to take time. It's going to take investment in what really matters here in the cryptocurrency space, and that is blockchain technology, decentralized finance, and of course, the principles of financial sovereignty, which Bitcoin has brought to the masses. It already been brought to the masses in the book of Proverbs, but that have been brought to the masses technologically. All right, so let's go ahead and read chat here for a couple of minutes, and then we'll go ahead and wrap it out. Really appreciate all of you guys tuning in. Let's see. Bradley Boyko said, I'm on a boat. There you go. Yeah, this is just teeing us up for the bull market cycle. I believe so. I believe so. I'd certainly like to think so. It's a very funny chat. I'm not going to read it, but shout out to you, Chris. Let's see. Ooh, we got a spam comment. Let's go ahead and hide that. Guys, if you ever see someone that has my logo and it says like WhatsApp or a phone number or something, I don't think you'd fall for that, but please don't fall for that. That's not me. Like, also, let me just say hello in chat, and you'll see there's a box around my name with a check mark, and it's going to be gray. That is YouTube. That's basically YouTube's equivalent of the Twitter blue, the Twitter verification badge, which is under all kinds of controversy over on Twitter. But that's basically what that is. All right. Let's see. Like I said, really appreciate all of you guys for tuning in. I did get a haircut. I probably should have gotten the top cut a little bit more, but I got the fade, you know. So I needed a haircut. Definitely needed a haircut. Please ban the WhatsApp guy. Yep, we banned the WhatsApp guy. Ryan Kessler said, I really like LuxAlgo. Best is the annual subscription. I get that, Jebb. Yes, definitely get the annual subscription, because if you go to LuxAlgo, hang on, let me just show you how much money you're going to save if you do this. This is where, you know, buying something a certain way will save you a bunch of money. If you're going to buy now, let me just make sure I can do this without, yeah. Here we go. Let me just show you what this would cost. Let's do some math. $68 a month. That's what LuxAlgo charges. I'm not ashamed at all to say they charge $68 a month. I think it's worth every single penny. I'm going to pull out a calculator here on my phone. $68 a month is going to cost $815.88 a year, because it says it right here under the yearly plan. But so 815.88 times 0.7, which is the 30% off. Just using the monthly plan, you're going to only spend $571 in the year instead of $815. So 815 minus 571, 815 minus 571, you're going to save $244 in 1 year by using the Jebb 30 coupon code. Now, if you use the yearly plan, you're going to be only spending $489.99, which is already less than $571 if you had to use the monthly plan with Jebb 30. But if you use the Jebb 30 coupon code on $489.99, 489 times 0.7, you're going to be spending $342. So here's what you could do with LuxAlgo. You could not use our coupon code and get the monthly plan, $68 a month, and spend $815 in the first year. Or you could sign up for the yearly plan and use the coupon code and spend $342. in the year for LuxAlgo, which turns out to be $28 a month instead of $68 a month, which means 68, and you can track the math here. It's a 30% off coupon code for the whole year, or for whatever you buy. It's 30% off. So 68 minus 28, you're gonna be saving $40 a month. You know how much Starbucks you could buy with that? Like, you could buy like a drink and a half at Starbucks with that. I'm just saying, that's a lot of money. That's financial sovereignty right there, guys. Saving $40 on a coupon with a coupon code and buying yearly that you will use every day in your charting. I promise you, if you chart every day, you're going to want to use LuxAlgo. It's so good. So get the yearly plan, use the Jebb30 coupon code, and save, what was it? It was, hang on, I got to do this again because I just don't believe my eyes. 342, so 815 minus 342, you're going to save $473 in a year. That's some simple math to me. Get the yearly plan. Don't worry about the recurring. Get the yearly plan, use the coupon code, spend the $340 or whatever it is, and get LuxAlgo today, and you're going to love it. You're going to. If you're a regular chartist, you're going to love it. All right. Silent said it's yellow, but we know you're colorblind. Forgive. It does say, okay, so it is yellow. Now, it's gray if I'm on another channel. It's yellow because you're on my channel. That's why it's yellow. It's yellow for me, too. Yeah. Lol, a drink and a half. Yeah, I mean, hey, look, you could spend $3,000 in a year on Starbucks, or you could spend $370 in a year on LuxAlgo and use it to make you thousands of dollars in your trading. I think that is a pretty straightforward investment. All right. You speak Spanish, Jebb? You viva la vida loca? No viva la vida loca. Lo siento, no hablo español muy bien. Mi esposa es para Puerto Rico. What else? What should I say next? No español muy bien. Nosotros hablamos español más o menos. I speak a little bit of Spanish. What's up, brother? Casper Silver said, hope you were doing well. I'm doing very well. Thank you so much. All right, guys. I am going to have to go ahead and wrap it out. I really do appreciate you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys so very much for that. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and by the way, don't forget to sign up for Club DeFi's Principles of Technical Analysis, because tonight is office hours. If you guys don't know, just realized I'm showing you the screen of the of the studio. Sorry. If you guys don't know, tonight is office hours over in the Discord server, and that's where I am going to meet with you guys on the Discord server at 8:30 p.m. tonight. And tonight, I'm actually going to be, for the first time, recording office hours and uploading it as a privated video on the YouTube channel in a private playlist that only members of Club DeFi's Principles of Technical Analysis can get access to. So if you're in Principles of TA, which there's a bunch of you guys over there, go to the Discord server. And to get to the Discord server, just go to Club DeFi. Go on over to your Club DeFi. All right. You all know we're here. Go to Club DeFi, Principles of Technical Analysis. Very first post in the entire course of the Discord. That's the link right there. I'm not going to open it because then you'd have the link if you're not in Club DeFi, but hit that button right there. You get the link to Club DeFi's Discord. Over there, I will post tonight a playlist. Actually, I might end up posting it tomorrow morning in office, but within the next 24 hours, there will be that video posted and uploaded, and it's just going to be a raw file of me in office hours with you guys, capturing our conversation, whatever it is, so that if you weren't able to catch it at that time, you can get it. And also, if you buy Club DeFi, you'll also get access to that. So here in a year, you'll have 52 office hours. That's about let's see, about 30 to 40 hours of content of me answering questions. So you can go back and watch that too on top of the course material. Club DeFi is absolutely worth your investment as well. Make sure to check that out with the link in the description. And if you're a member of CT2A, an alumni of CT2A, I put a video in CT2A showing you how to use your coupon code to get into Club DeFi's Principles of Technical Analysis for 25% off. All right, guys. Thank you guys very much. I really do appreciate it. Before I go, I do just first want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching, as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.